Straight ahead on WBKB, President Biden is preparing for his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Plus, an update on Alpena Township's fire contract and what is downtown Alpena going to look like this summer.
You're watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Tyler Cruz.
And I'm Sherry Stewart. President Biden's week-long European trip to connect with other world leaders has taken him to the final stop in Switzerland.
That's right, Sherry, and he's in Geneva right now for his high-stakes showdown with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
All eyes are on Geneva, Switzerland, where in less than 24 hours, President Biden will meet face-to-face with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
President, are you ready for tomorrow? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Earlier, the president sat down with the Swiss president, the country hosting the high-stakes summit. Senior administration officials say Wednesday's meeting is expected to last several hours. Recent cyber attacks and ransomware will be among issues topping the agenda.
There is plenty of proof that a number of cyber attacks in the past few years have come from Russia.
U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo spoke to CBS News from Brussels, where she met with U.S. and European business leaders who have expressed concern.
I think there's a growing recognition that cyber attacks are going to increase in number and in severity, and we all have to be a lot more vigilant.
In addition to cyber attacks, other key issues will include human rights, election interference, and Russian aggression towards Ukraine.
CBS News got a rare look at one of the front lines of the conflict, which began in 2014 when Russia sent unmarked military forces to occupy the southern portion of Crimea in Ukraine.
Why should ordinary Americans care what's happening here in Ukraine?
It can be tomorrow at their houses.
Ahead of his meeting with Putin, President Biden enthusiastically stressed U.S. solidarity with European allies. Earlier today, the U.S. and EU announced a deal to end the 17-year-old Airbus-Boeing trade dispute, reaching a 5-year agreement to suspend tariffs. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Today, members of Congress heard testimony chronicling the federal response to the January 6th Capitol riot.
The FBI director says nearly 500 people have been arrested in connection to the attack, with over 100 investigations ongoing. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
Two House committees held dueling hearings examining the January 6th storming of the U.S. Capitol. Witnesses faced tough questions from the oversight panel over the delayed deployment of National Guard troops in response to the attack.
You both recommended that the National Guard deploy to protect other federal buildings.
They did not have their riot control gear with them. We had to get them back to the Armory. We had to reconfigure them and re-equip them to get them forward.
Before the House Administration Committee, the U.S. Capitol Police Inspector General laid out the findings in his fourth flash report. In it, he said Capitol Police response teams did not have adequate training and questioned the appropriateness of using one private facility, Northern Red Training.
There are better options of doing training.
The report also found the agency lacked proper operating procedures, including for securing equipment. As a result, 12 ballistic vests and 12 ballistic helmets were stolen by rioters.
These hearings come after a recently released FBI assessment warned that followers of QAnon conspiracy theories could be motivated to commit acts of violence against Democrats or other political opponents.
We cannot prevent every attack. The only way to find sustainable solutions is not only to disrupt and deter, but also to address the root causes of violence.
Tuesday, the Attorney General laid out the Biden administration's strategy to combat domestic terrorism, focusing on stopping recruitment and deterring violence. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Here's meteorologist Ellie Morrison with a first check of the weather. Ellie, chilly this morning, but it turned into a beautiful day.
Tyler, it sure did, and it's going to be pretty similar for tomorrow. We're seeing sunshine over the Alpena breakwall. You can see the sun reflecting off of the water. Sunny skies, 71 degrees, that temperature coming from Alpena Airport. Winds a little bit breezy out of the north-northwest at 12 miles per hour. That north-northwest wind contributing to the cooler temperatures and very dry air in our area with relative humidity at 29%. This evening, temperatures are going to fall into the lower 60s and then 50s as we go later on into the nighttime hours. Early tomorrow morning, starting off at 45 degrees. A cool start to tomorrow morning. You'll probably need a jacket first thing. Temperatures will rise into the 60s as we go throughout the morning. Highs tomorrow afternoon heading into the lower 70s. I'll let you know when warmer temperatures will move in, but also when our chances of showers are going to increase coming up later in the newscast.
Thanks for that, Ellie. We'll check back in with you for a bit, definitely about those warmer temperatures. Alpena Township Board of Trustees is preparing to review their proposed fire services contract with the city. The board will meet Wednesday to review contract terms. Specifically, they will look at fees for services. The board sent the proposed draft to the city a few weeks ago with a proposed fee of over $387,000 for services, but the city countered that number and voted to charge the township $400,000 a year for 15 years. Also up for discussion is the need for a public input.
We're gearing towards a decision to be made at our next board meeting, and that would either have our public input session on the 23rd or 24th that we discussed at our previous meeting at 6 p.m. What we're trying to hammer out is the logistics of running our IT for our online meeting potentials at the Aplex.
Skibby says the input sessions will more than likely take place at the Township building due to those technical challenges. WBKB will continue to keep you updated on talks between the Township and the City Fire Department. Tomorrow's meeting is at 11 a.m.
The Community Foundation of Northeast Michigan is looking to help area women. The Women's Giving Circle grant is open to nonprofits and other organizations in the region. The grants are for projects and programs that address issues important to women. Grant recipients may receive up to $3,000. The deadline to apply is July 1st. For information on how to apply, you can visit our website at WBKB11.com. Renters facing financial difficulty could qualify for help from DTE. The energy company is offering assistance with rent, energy bills, and other permitted services. To find out if you qualify, visit our website at WBKB11.com for a link to the application.
One alleyway in downtown Alpena is going through a transformation phase as the Downtown Development Authority changes it to become a pedestrian area. WBKB spoke with the DDA to find out more about their plans. In just a few weeks, the alleyway connecting 2nd and 3rd Avenue in downtown Alpena will be closed off to vehicles. The DDA plans to transform the alley into a pedestrian-centered space that businesses can get creative with.
It'll be closed for car traffic, so there will be bollards and those concrete movers. Businesses will be able to put a little bit of stuff into it if they want.
City Council recently approved the project for the summer, and it will shut down once the weather gets colder. It's just a trial run, and after this year, officials will reevaluate and decide if they want to continue for future summers.
That's the beauty of this being a pilot project as well, is to really see how it goes this summer. And then, for next year, if we want to close it again, we might have a little bit better idea of how that flows and all that.
The idea has been in conversation for a while. Local businesses in the area have expressed their support for a pedestrian space, and in the future, it could be home to a lot more than foot traffic.
We can put our street performers in that area, so that's kind of the vision long term, is to maybe beautify it with some art, some flower planters, seating, twinkle lights, just seeing this year how it goes over and if it's worthwhile to make that type of investment.
The alley must remain wide enough for emergency vehicles to fit if needed. The DDA plans to have the space officially set up for pedestrians before the 4th of July. That's around the same time they expect the social district to be up and running, all while the Fresh Waves project is going on. It's safe to say it's going to be a busy summer in downtown Alpena. That looks awesome.
It does. It looks like it will be a lot of fun.
And a lot of changes coming to downtown. I'm really excited for it.
Absolutely.
There's more news ahead for you here on WBKB. Coming up, June is Youth Employment Month in Michigan, and meteorologist Ellie Morrison has your... So, hat, gloves, jacket, sunscreen tomorrow when I leave the house.
Yeah, not quite gloves, more like sweater or jacket in the morning, and then you'll leave the jacket in the car for the afternoon. It'll feel pretty similar to today by the time we get to the mid-afternoon, and then warmer on Thursday. Summer shows up again for Thursday.
So in other words, layers.
Bundle up with some tea tonight, too.
And today's photo was sent in by Mary Leitner. Several types of butterflies and bumblebees have been enjoying the lilacs in her yard. This is a swallowtail butterfly that actually sat still long enough for Mary to take a picture. Thank you, Mary, for sharing this photo with us. If you have a photo, such as nature shots, pics with friends, or interesting sights you see that you would like to send us, email it along with a short description to news@wbkb11.com.
I was little. I used to try to catch those things in my hand.
Butterfly?
Oh, yeah. As a kid, anything. Butterfly, anything that flew. Coming up on WBKB News, don't miss the Pets of the Week, and Jake Vanderbrook will have the latest in sports. Stay tuned.
Michigan celebrates June as Youth Employment Month and encourages businesses to hire young people. Approximately 43,000 youth ages 16 to 19 look for employment this time of year. In response, Governor Whitmer chose June as Youth Employment Month. Whitmer says raising awareness about young people learning valuable skills is important. Northland Credit Union's Annie Mead says they hire students to help out during summer months. Mead says it's a win-win, and she shares a success story about one of their youth hires.
We actually have had a collect student who worked for us for a year as a student, and then he was able to come back. We rehired him as a teller full-time, and then he actually moved up to be a branch manager.
The Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity encourages businesses to hire youth. They say hiring young people, including those with disabilities, is an investment in the future and growing economy.
That's pretty cool.
I concur.
Do you remember your first job?
It was at a Dairy Queen. I make a mean banana split.
Oh, I was flipping burgers.
Really?
I make a mean Whopper. Well, it's one of my favorite days of the week, obviously, and today's pets of the week are bee balm, tulip, emu, and woodpecker.
Our first pet today is Tulip. She's 9 weeks old and she rules the playroom. She's territorial but receptive to petting. However, she'd likely do best as the only pet in the home, as she prefers to defend her title rather than share her space. Now meet Bee Balm. He's also 9 weeks old and incredibly fast to boot. If he spots something interesting, he jumps from 0 to 60 in an instant. Bee Balm also considers himself Tulip's rival, but he's not very good at it. Next up, we have Emu. You can tell him apart from his siblings by his orange collar. All he wanted to do today was relax, but Tulip and Bee Balm's fighting made it difficult. Thankfully, those two quieted down enough for Emu and his siblings to finally take a nap. Finally, say hello to Woodpecker. He's an energetic kitten who likes to climb and goof around. He doesn't take much time to recharge, so make sure you can match his energy. A climbing tree would be a good investment for this cat. To learn more about adoption, follow the link to the Huron Humane Society on our website, WBKB11.com.
Those things have so much energy.
They do.
Well, sports is coming up next, but first, Jake Vanderbrook is here with a preview. Jake, what's going on?
Hey, Tyler. Yes, the Tigers look sharp on offense, scoring 10 runs in their win over the Royals on Monday, but they got a couple pitchers that are banged up. More on that. Plus, state quarterfinal action for softball as the Hillman Tigers collided with the Rudyard Bulldogs. Keep it here because the sports is coming up next.
You're encouraging him to kind of go for it when it's on the line. So rather than, just knock into the fairway or something like that and try to play for the next shot.
I usually don't get the option in my.
That's what I mean. You'll finally have the option, Aaron.
All right, so Sherry, Tyler, this match is set for Tuesday, July 6th, and I got to be honest with you. I thought Aaron Rodgers did a tremendous job hosting Jeopardy. Maybe he should consider retirement and host Jeopardy.
I just know that if Brady was still playing for Belichick, he wouldn't be golfing right now in the offseason.
I agree, 100%. 100%.
Now, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after.
All right, it's now time to take a look at the best thing I saw today. Sherry, Tyler, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. In Monday night's NCAA baseball game between Dallas Baptist and Virginia, a high school pitcher, Farrell Shoemaker, took a selfie of himself while catching a home run ball. ESPN got this wonderful shot. That's just insane. I mean, I could probably pull that off if I was playing catch with my father. But this, though, wow, call it an early Christmas present. That's the best thing I saw today.
You said he was a pitcher, too.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be able to field like that. That is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive.
Yeah, mad skills. How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
Well, thank you for watching WBKB News at 6.
You can visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
And check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle at WBKB11.
Join us tonight for WBKB News at 11 with Stephanie Manici. Have a great evening.